Hello viewers, welcome to the Big Man Business YouTube channel. Here is another highly informative video. In this video, we're going to be talking about Israel's top import and exports. Keep watching, we got it all covered. In 2020, Israel exported $49.8 billion worth of goods around the world, down by -17.8% from 2016. From 2019 to 2020, the value of Israel's exports fell by -14.9% year-on-year. According to a continental perspective, 35.3% of Israel's exports were delivered to European countries, while 31% were sold to North American importers. Another 27.7% of Israel's exports were sent to Asia. Latin America, excluding Mexico, but including the Caribbean with 3.8%, Oceania, led by Australia with 1.2%, and Africa received lower percentages with 1.1%. If you're new to the Big Man Business YouTube channel, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell to receive updates on new business expert videos. For more international business news and updates, please visit www.bigmanbusiness.com. Israel's top 15 trading partners. The following is a list of 15 of Israel's most important trading partners, the countries that imported the most Israeli shipments in terms of dollar value in 2020. The percentage of total Israeli exports consumed by each import country is also shown. The United States has a budget of $13.1 billion, accounting for 26.3% of total Israeli exports. $4.1 billion in China accounts for 8.3%. £3.7 billion in the United Kingdom accounts for 7.5%. $2.5 billion in the Netherlands account for 4.9%. $1.7 billion in Germany account for 3.4%. India with $1.6 billion account for 3.2%. Belgium has a GDP of $1.45 billion accounting for 2.9%. $1.41 billion for Turkey accounts for 2.8%. $1.24 billion from Hong Kong accounts for 2.5%. 1.15 billion francs from France accounts for 2.3%. Brazil with $998.9 million accounts for 2%. $947.7 million from Japan account for 1.9%. Spain with $872.5 million accounts for 1.8%. $776.8 million from Italy accounts for 1.6%. $776.8 million for South Korea accounts for 1.6%. In 2022, the previously mentioned 15 trading partners will account for nearly 3/4 or 73% of Israeli exports. The Netherlands has increased by 13.7%, valued at $2.5 billion. South Korea increased by 8.6%, valued at $776.8 million. 8.4% valued at $947.7 million increase in Japan. Germany, 2.1% valued at $1.7 billion increase. From 2019 to 2021, Israel increased its exports to 4 major trading partners, the Netherlands up by 13.7%, South Korea up by 8.6%, Japan up by 8.4%, and Germany up by 8.4%. Hong Kong went down by 58.2%, the United Kingdom down by -25.6%, and France were the top annual decliners, down by -23.8%. Israel's top 10 imports. The following product groups represent the highest dollar value in Israel's import purchases during 2020. Also shown is the percentage share each product category represents in terms of overall imports into Israel. Machinery including computers, $9.4 billion accounts for 13.3% of total imports. Electrical machinery, equipment, $8.5 billion accounts for 12.1%. Vehicles, $5.8 billion accounts for 8.3%. Mineral fuels including oil, $5.6 billion accounts for 7.9%. Gems, precious metals, $4.4 billion accounts for 6.2%. Pharmaceuticals, $3.3 billion account for 4.7%. Optical, technical, medical apparatus, $2.9 billion account for 4.1%. Plastics, plastic articles, $2.6 billion account for 3.8%. Iron, steel, $1.5 billion account for 2.2%. Organic chemicals, $1.4 billion account for 2%. Israel's top 10 imports accounted for about two-thirds or 66.5% of the overall value of its product purchases from other countries. Aircraft and spacecraft posted the fastest increase in value among Israel's top 10 import categories, up by 24.6% from 2019 to 2021. In second place for improving import purchases was the pharmaceuticals category, thanks to its 13.4% uptick. Israeli imports of vehicles delivered the third fastest gain, 8.8%. The greatest decliner was the gems and precious metals category, falling by -26.2% year over year and weighed down by Israel's diminishing international sales of diamonds. Israel's top 10 exports. The State of Israel shipped $49.8 billion worth of goods around the world in 2021, thanks to its photogenic coastlines along the Mediterranean Sea's southeastern shore and the Red Sea's northern shore. This figure reflects a -17.8% drop from 2016 to 2019 and a -14.9% drop from 2020 to 2021. The Israeli shekel has appreciated by 10.4% against the US dollar since 2016, according to the average exchange rate for 2020, and gained 3.4% from 2019 to 2020. Exports paid for in weaker US dollars are relatively more expensive for international buyers due to Israel's stronger local currency. In 2020, Israel's 5 most valuable exports accounted for nearly a third or 31% of the country's total shipments by value. Diamonds, heterocyclics, nucleic acids, electronic integrated circuits, phones, including smartphones, and electromedical equipment are among the most important exports. According to the most recent country-specific data available, importers in the United States had 26.3% of the global total, China with 8.3%, the United Kingdom with 7.5%, the Netherlands with 4.9%, Germany with 3.4%, India with 3.2%, Belgium with 2.9%, Turkey with 2.8%, Hong Kong with 2.5%, France with 2.3%, Brazil with 2%, and Japan purchased 1.9% of Israel's exports. In terms of value, 35.3% of Israel's exports were delivered to European countries, while 31% were sold to North American importers. Another 27.7% of Israel's exports were sent to Asia. Latin America, excluding Mexico, but including the Caribbean, got 3.8%, Oceania, led by Australia, got 1.2%, and Africa received smaller percentages, got 1.1%. Given Israel's population of 9.2 million people, the country's total exports of $49.8 billion in 2020 equate to roughly $5,400 for each citizen. The export product groups listed below have the highest dollar value in terms of Israeli global shipments in 2020. The percentage share of each export category in terms of total Israeli exports is also shown. $8.2 billion in electrical machinery and equipment accounted for 16.4% of total exports. $6 billion in gems and precious metals accounts for 12%. $5.7 billion in optical, technical, and medical equipment accounts for 11.5%. $4.4 billion in machinery, including computers, accounts for 8.8%. $4.1 billion in organic chemicals accounts for 8.3%. $2.7 billion in plastics and plastic articles accounts for 5.5%. $2.5 billion in other chemical goods accounts for 5.1%. $2.2 billion for aircraft and spacecraft accounts for 4.4%. $1.7 billion in pharmaceuticals accounts for 3.3%. $1.2 billion in arms and ammunition accounts for 2.3%. The top 10 exports from Israel accounted for 77.7% of the total value of its global shipments. The fastest growing export category among the top 10 was arms and ammunition, which increased by 67.9% from 2019 to 2020. Optical, technical, and medical apparatus came in second with a 4.8% increase in export sales. The only other increase in value was for electrical machinery and equipment, which increased by 1.9%. Pharmaceuticals, with a minus 49.8% drop year over year, were the leading decliner among Israel's top 10 export categories. In terms of macroeconomics, Israel's total exported goods account for 12.5% of its overall gross domestic product, valued at $354.2 billion in purchasing power parity US dollars in 2021. In PPP terms, exports will account for 12.5% of overall GDP in 2021, compared to 16.5% in 2020. Those percentages suggest that Israel's total economic performance is becoming less reliant on products sold on international markets, albeit over a short period of time. The unemployment rate is another important indicator of a country's economic performance. According to Trading Economics, Israel's average unemployment rate was 5.4% in April 2021, down from 4.3% a year earlier. Jerusalem is Israel's capital. Thanks for watching this video. We are open to suggestions. Kindly drop your comments in the comment box and don't forget to subscribe to the Big Man Business YouTube channel. See you in the next video.